So I got a new candle mold. It's a Lyson candle mold. I ordered this time from Better Be. This one is called, well, it depends who you ask, because Better Be calls it an Engraved Cone candle mold, and Lyson, the manufacturer, calls it a Christmas tree engraved. It's the same engraved pattern, kind of that diamond grid as the cylinder that I showed you in my last candle mold video. I liked it so much I bought this one. This one is kind of a combination between a regular pillar candle and a taper. 7.5 inches tall. It uses, I think, 4.5 ounces of wax, so not that much wax. Depending on where you look, you'll get different recommendations for the size wick to use. And I'll show you what I used for it. And once again, Lyson makes a nice silicone candle mold, but the walls on it are super thin. So rubber bands, if you put a rubber band around this, it's going to squeeze it and it's going to distort the form of the candle. So some places will tell you to use rubber bands. With the Lyson molds, I would recommend a different method that I'll show you in the when we get down in the basement. So basically all I do is I wrap a sheet of plastic, thin plastic, around the whole thing and tape it. That way it's a uniform fit down the whole thing and you don't have one or two rubber band pinch points that are kind of squeezing at the wrong place. So let's go downstairs in the basement and check it out. I'm gonna change out of what I have on, because when you're making candles, you always want to have clothes that you don't mind getting wax on. First thing we're going to do is put some plastic down so we don't ruin the floor if any wax drops on it. Okay, and step one when you are making a candle is getting your wax ready. I've already got my wax all filtered and everything. Just have to melt it down and then run it through a screen just to get any last things out of it. I'm gonna get the wick ready. The wick has been a little bit frustrating for this candle because the Better Be website has 60 ply wick recommended, which is far too thick in my opinion. It's the same wick they recommend for the pillar candle. Makes sense for the pillar candle because it's much thicker than this one. So I used a smaller wick the first time I used this, and I'm going to use a smaller wick again. The nice thing about the Lyson molds is that they have that slot in the side to slide the wick in. You don't have to use a wicking needle, and it goes all the way down. It does mean that you have to be careful when you're pouring it so that it doesn't spill. You have to make sure this entire edge is sealed. So let's get the wick going while my wax is melting. I'm going to use this wick. It's a 2/0 ply wick. I don't understand wicking formats. It varies from country to country. Seems like there's no rhyme or reason to it, but anyway. Alright, so here we are, the next day, and let's check it out. So one thing I really like about these Lyson molds is how easy it is to take the candle out because of that side slit that goes all the way down, because you don't have to worry about the wick. And with taper candles, it's super easy anyway. I know this isn't a taper, technically it's a conical candle mold, but it's still going to be super easy. So You just kind of gently open the slit, pull it out, it comes right out. And there it is. It looks really pretty. And the mold is clean, perfect, ready to go again. So all I need to do now is just trim the wick, top and bottom, and then melt the bottom on the hot plate just so that it's flat and even. Get rid of these little wax chunks that are kind of sticking off the side here, and it's ready to go. The Engraved Christmas Tree or the Engraved Cone, depending on where you look. This is a Lyson candle mold, and I would highly recommend it. And it's going to look great with my other engraved cylinder mold. It has the same crisscross diamond pattern on the outside, but a slightly different shape. They're going to make a nice set. So there it is. Hope you've enjoyed it, and if you're looking for this, I'll put a link in the description to both the Lyson catalog where you can see this, along with other Lyson candle molds, and I'll put a link to a couple of Bee Supply places where you can get it, Blue Sky and Better Bee. As far as wick goes, you might have to play around with it a little bit, and we'll see how it burns. Maybe I might have to upgrade the wick size a little bit, but I don't think so. I think this one should be fine. Anyway, thanks for watching. Tune in next time. You never know what kind of candle I'll be making next. Something beeswax, obviously. If it's not beeswax, the smell, everything about it, great stuff. Anyway, see ya.